This is Glenn Pendlay with another episode of the Weightlifting Scoop podcast, and this was going to be shamelessly self-promoting for me and Travis. We're just going to talk about what we're doing for the next couple of months. It's fairly exciting. First thing is, in 6 days, we're going to Australia.
That fast? Huh? I didn't even know that. It was
kind of crept up, I think, on both
20th,
of us.
what's today?
14th.
14th?
Yeah.
Wow, it is coming up.
I mean, it's less than a week away. So, yeah, it's kind of funny when we schedule these things. It's like months and months in advance, and you just kind of forget about it, and then all of a sudden it's here.
Well, the life of a weightlifter is, I know if it's a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday because those days are pretty much the same in the training room. And I know when it's a Tuesday or Thursday, but to be honest, I don't know. I don't ever know what day it is exactly.
Yeah, I would say kind of the same. I'm a reasonably disorganized person, and the dates kind of fly away. If you saw my desk right now, you'd believe me. Every day I come in here and my desk is so messy that I think at some point somebody's going to get mad at me and say clean it up because it looks like crap. But nobody has yet, I guess, so who knows. I bought things to organize my desk, like a big calendar and everything, and it's just laying on my desk scattered with a whole bunch of crap piled on top of it. So it's not helping me organize right now. It's just another piece of junk that gets on my desk and never leaves. But we're going to Australia for not a month, a little shy of a month. I think we get back on the 15th or 16th next month. So it's a good while, and we'll have a great time. I went to Australia last summer, and I went again earlier this summer, just for a week, but I went for 3 weeks last summer, and we had a hell of a time. Ben and Simone Tiley host while we're there, and they're great people, and we always have a good time. We went diving, scuba diving last time. I don't think we're going to do that again, but we'll at least do something. Maybe drive out in the outback and look for poisonous animals or something. I don't know.
I've never been there, so I'm very excited. I mean,
it's too bad we can't. Expect. Yeah, it's too bad we won't go diving again this year because you'd probably absolutely love that. We went out to the what's that giant reef they have?
The Great Barrier Reef.
The Great Barrier Reef. It was just like a lot of miles out in the ocean, and then you just kind of sit on top of it with the boat and dive down about 30 feet to get to the reef, and it's absolutely wonderful.
I mean, I know a little bit about this, but for people listening, I mean, how did we even get connected with this?
Well, Muscle Driver does have a facility in Australia, a warehouse, and we do sell a lot in Australia. And since I've done the seminars here, and it seems like some people seem to like them, basically went over there last year just as a way to promote Muscle Driver in Australia. And I think it achieved its purpose, and we certainly sold out all of our seminars. I think we did 8 last year. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many we're doing this year. We might only be doing 6 this year, but I'm not sure. Basically when I'm there, I'm just a tourist. I just get up when Ben says get up and drive with him to wherever we're going that day and, do whatever I'm supposed to do. So I don't really keep track of stuff. He does all that for me. But we're doing a bunch of seminars. We're doing Sydney and Melbourne and Brisbane and somewhere else. Whoever lives there, if they're listening to this, I'll probably get mad because I didn't remember them. But it basically is fun. It's just we do a seminar somewhere, work with lifters and weightlifting all day long, and then we get up the next day and do it again. Then we drive or fly somewhere else the next day and have a day of rest, and then do another seminar, and just, for like 3 weeks. So if you love weightlifting, it's pretty much the ideal thing you'd want to be doing for a month. But it'll be, the only problem is the plane ride over and the plane ride back. That pretty much sucks. The first time I went over, we had a plane that I think it was a Virgin plane. Mm-hmm. And it had little TVs.
It was the first flight of that plane? Or?
No, that's the company. The plane had flown before, but they had those little TVs that you can, program yourself and buy movies on, and everything that are in the back of the seat ahead of you. And I think I watched like 6 movies on the flight, just pretty much back to back. And
good Lord, that's a long flight. 20 hours?
No, it's like 15.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's not near as bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, once you pass the 10-hour mark, I mean, a plane is just hell. I mean, I've flown to Korea and Taiwan and a couple other places that it's just like, once you pass 10 hours, you're just in pain.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's definitely a miserable day. And the problem is then, you leave like at night here and you get there in the morning and you pretty much have to stay up all day or else you'll just be screwed up the whole time you're there. And so it's actually fairly miserable. But then once you're there and you've had a day or two to recover, then it's pretty fun. Australian people are like the nicest people ever, for the most part. I'm sure there's a couple of dicks in Australia just like there are anywhere else, but pretty much, they're all like super, super, super nice. But so we'll be doing that for like 3 weeks. Then we come back here.
Well, CrossFit has gotten pretty big out there, right? I mean, most
absolutely.
of the gyms that we're going to out there are CrossFit, is that right?
Yeah. And, probably per capita, CrossFit's bigger out there than it is here, I would think.
You went to the CrossFit regionals there, and you said it was like a huge event. It was almost as big as the CrossFit Games here.
Well, I don't think it was as big as the CrossFit Games here. There wasn't no like 20,000 people, but it was huge. It was huge. It was absolutely huge. It was full. It was absolutely crazy. I was surprised how big it was. Pleasantly surprised. It was a big deal.
So there's really not a lot of other sports over there. I mean, there's a few. There's rugby, you said, and
they have 2 different kinds of rugby,
but not really any football or baseball. So there's more fans than there are sports.
I think that Australians as a whole do a lot more physical exercising and just are more active and involved in different sporting things or exercising things than the average American. I think they're a very, very active exercise, sport-related culture. But no, they don't have like the big 3 that we have here as far as basketball and football and baseball are not a huge deal. But rugby, that's another story. Rugby's friggin' crazy.
Yeah, it's a big sport down there.
I watched rugby the whole time I was there, and I was just in awe of it. So, and cricket. I don't understand cricket at all. To me, it's just totally random. Totally random. I don't understand it at all. But it's kind of, I don't know. It's interesting. But rugby was what I really enjoyed watching over there.
The point being, there's not as many pro sports, and so weightlifting, because CrossFit is kind of blown up there, kind of has the potential to grow in itself there. And that's a lot of the reason why we've gotten connected with these seminars, not because A, there's Muscle Driver Australia, and then B, weightlifting starting to take off a little bit.
I could see weightlifting doing a lot better in Australia in the upcoming years. I mean, I know that, there was one girl that I coached a little bit while I was there that, started through CrossFit, and she's on the Commonwealth team. And, I've been getting emails from a lot of Australians that like want me to coach them when I'm there or something that, just randomly some dude a couple of days ago emailed me a picture. He's a 77 kilo lifter, and he emailed me a video of a 135 kilo, snatch off blocks. That's pretty freaking good, I think.
Yeah.
That not really competing or anything, just kind of got into the sport, I think, through CrossFit again, and just happens to be pretty good at it. So I think that, yeah, it's going to CrossFit is going to make a huge difference in weightlifting in Australia. And I'm, frankly kind of excited to be at least a tiny little bit involved with it, and maybe some of the lifters that start doing good. And it's very excited for me.
Yeah.
And now in the office, just randomly, someone started playing Eye of the Tiger extremely loud. I think that must be coming from Brad's office.
Must have made a big sale.
Something, I don't know. He randomly plays like very loud music from his office. You never know when it's going to start up, so that's why we got our door closed, but we certainly can hear it.
Well, anyways, once we come back from Australia, that's going to be a 25-day trip. Is that right?
Roughly, yeah.
So, that's a long trip. I'm excited about that. We'll probably be tired of each other by the time we get home, but
I'm already tired of you, Travis. But yeah, we'll have a good time. Then we get home, and we're home for like a week and a half, and then we have a training camp at the OTC for a week. So that'll be around the like the very last of September and first week of October. We'll be in Colorado Springs for a training camp out there with both you and Morgan, who are both members of the world team.
Yeah.
And that should be fun. I've been out there for training camps a couple times in the coaching capacity, and I always had a great time. The weather's great this time of the year, in Colorado Springs. It's a neat little town. And it's neat. It's not just weightlifting, but you're just around all kinds of great athletes from all different sports, and it's just a neat atmosphere.
I used to live at the OTC for a year and a half, and I haven't been there in like 4 years. So it'll be awesome to go back and see some old people and friends.
They've been old people everywhere, Travis.
Some of my old friends, good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, hey, some fun trivia. So on the garage door at the OTC, there's a picture of me actually slamming the weight and in the USA socks. And I always make a joke. 'Cause it doesn't have my face, so you don't know it's me unless you just know. So once I
Yeah, it's a good thing you pointed that out. I was about to call bullshit.
But hey, no, those socks cost me like $25 at the OTC, and I know that that's the only reason that my picture got chosen. So that's like the best $25 I've ever spent in my entire life.
Yeah, you got to point that. It is kind of funny.
My mom was kind of pissed at me at first. She's like, "What are you spending $25 on a pair of socks for?" I was like, "Hey," when I told her I was on the garage door, she was excited. So.
Yeah. And I bet your mom was excited too.
Oh yeah,
she's an excitable person.
She was like, "Hey, when are you going to the OTC? I got to fly out there to see your picture on the garage door."
You think she'll come out while we're there?
She don't care to see me, but no, I'm just kidding.
She wants to see your socks.
No. Well, anyway,
it'd be really funny if you were home and she was doing your laundry and you came out and you had one sock and you said, "You lost my other sock." Oh, that would be funny. But that'll be a fun week. It'll be a fun week. And I know it's Morgan's first chance to do anything like that. And so I'm sure she'll be probably even more excited than she normally is. And she's a pretty excited person most of the time. Or maybe happy is the right word.
Especially when Notorious B.I.G. comes on the radio station at the gym. She'll be dancing around, but
yeah, she's an upbeat person. She's a fun girl to have on the team.
So yeah, then we're gonna.
I heard she can't make a decent sandwich, but other than that,
well, she claims Dean's the one who can't make sandwiches. Who knows? Get different story from both sides of that.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll come back here for a week, and then we're gonna go to Poland for the World Championships.
Yeah, and there's also the possibility that we're gonna go to Germany for a couple of days, and then go to Poland. So I don't think they've quite worked that out yet. I've been trying to get Phil Andrews on the phone for half the day, and he's not answering his phone. Something's got to be up with that, because he always answers his phone. But, so we're not quite sure the travel arrangements for Poland yet, but the chances are we'll get back like on the 6th from the training camp, and then sometime within the next 10 days for sure, we'll be leaving for a training camp in Germany and then on to Poland for the World Championships. And I am actually really, really looking forward to that like crazy. It's been 2 years, I believe, since I've been in Europe. And so I miss it. I really enjoyed the last few times I've been over there at competitions and coaching, and I'm super, super excited to go back.
You want to know something crazy?
What's crazy?
My roommate in college actually lives like a 2-hour train ride from where we're competing in Poland. And he's Polish, and basically, he was one of the lead developers on the application Draw Something on your smartphones, for those of you out there that know that. And basically, since he made that application, he has a little freedom with his job, and he's living in Poland. His family's from Poland, so he's actually going to be able to come up and watch, and I might be able to stay a couple extra days and hang out with him there. I mean, totally random. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, but that's cool, though.
Yeah.
So you must have gone to school with a lot of smart people.
I went to an engineering school. I went to Georgia Tech, so a lot of people are smart. It's a good school. So.
Well, that's interesting. I actually already knew that, but I'm just saying this for the benefit of the listeners. Travis should be making 6 figures somewhere inventing things on a computer.
I don't know about that, but no, I mean, I think that's more than a coincidence, so I should stay there and kind of hang out with him and catch up maybe for like, I don't know, at least a day or two.
Is he going to be able to come over and watch you lift?
I think so. So maybe a couple of my other friends, the timing might work out where they might be able to come up and we can kind of have like a reunion there, which, I mean, I don't know, may or may not happen, but regardless, for me, the next 2 months is just absolutely crazy. Full of stuff. And I mean, all along in Australia, I'm going to have to train for the World Championships, which shouldn't be a problem because I have to demonstrate and train at the seminars. But at the same time, I know it's
well, the
it's gonna
training
be a
will
lot.
be, a little different. If going last year, with Donnie is any indication, you have to maybe not go 100%, but go heavy demonstrating the lifts, 100% if you want to, like every 5 or 6 days, something like that. And then, the time in between, you'll have multiple days where you can go in and do your squats or your pulls or, lighter lifts and all that. But it'll be kind of geared around the seminars where you try to be somewhat fresh to go and demo and lift really heavy as we do a seminar, and then a few days in between to, get into more lighter, volume oriented squats, stuff like that. Training.
Okay, I didn't realize we had that much time between seminars. So that's
well, it's like 1 week we do one on the weekend, then one in the middle of the week, and then another one on the weekend, and then the next week we do the weekend one, and we have 5 days, 6 days in between where we do nothing, and we'll be able to have a lot of training, and then do another one the next weekend. So. It'll kind of go, but I mean, you got to kind of gauge things around. It'll be just like gauging things around our Friday afternoon workouts where you go heavy in the snatch and clean and jerk, and then the rest of the week you're going to do the preparation work and all the other stuff. And so it'll be similar, but obviously the demos and the whatever at the seminars will be the main thing we have to work around. So it won't be too different, but it's kind of like, you have travel days and stuff where obviously you won't be able to train, and then the days that we're just lounging around doing nothing and enjoying the wonderful Australian weather and Australian people, then we'll have to, go into the gym and get the work done on those days. But yeah, I think, last year, I took Donnie with me, and, every single week at every seminar, he was able to lift heavier and heavier weight. And so he actually improved on the weights he could hit when he maxed, almost 10 kilos on each lift while we were there. I think that, maybe the first seminar he only managed like 150 snatch and maybe 190, 95 clean and jerk. He steadily progressed every seminar until the last seminar he was over 160 and over 200. So, I think actually it's a pretty good training environment because you've got so many people watching you and cheering for you and, an audience all the time. And so it's really a great environment, to like be psyched up and really go for it.
Yeah, the audience helps. I mean, when we were at, I don't know what they call it, but down at, Bowser's gym. Broward County CrossFit. Steven and Heidi Bowser. That's the only time I snatched 150 between Pan Ams and the Nationals. And so that's the only reason I had any confidence whatsoever is because those people cheered for me. I actually missed 153 times and then got them to all cheer for me and I made it. But, other than that day of training, my training sucked before
I think going down to that seminar was like a real key for you because you hadn't really had any days where you lifted really well and maxed really high until you went there.
Yeah, so the atmosphere does make a difference.
Yeah.
But,
and that's one of the best places for a seminar and places as far as to get psyched up because it's a little bit crowded. They always draw a lot of people. The gym's not exactly, huge. It's big enough, but it's not huge. And so there's a real density of people. And, for whatever reason, that tends to be one of the more enthusiastic places. Everybody's really into it and really, really wanting you to make a big weight. And so it was a good seminar to have, like 2 weeks out from the Nationals. And, you obviously did really good at Nationals. So I think it'll be a successful trip as far as your lifting.
Yeah, I obviously want to do my best at the World Championships. It's the most important meet I've ever been in. So I want to do more than what I did at Nationals in the ideal world. Now, I mean, obviously one of the reasons why we're telling all you guys what our schedule is like is because we could be off air. It could be irregular. We're going to try to pre-record a few episodes and put them up while we're in Australia. But, we might not have internet everywhere or we might be on the run and not be able to record episodes. So that's one of the reasons.
On the run from who? No. Yeah. It's going to be an exciting 2 or 3 months. Definitely. A very, very great 2 or 3 months away from home a lot of the time and in different places and everything. And
it's already been a crazy couple months. We were in, Venezuela and then, so I mean, it's just been a crazy year and, it's been awesome. So.
Yeah. There is someday for most people you have to grow up and stop doing this stuff. I'm lucky that I've somehow lucked into the fact that hasn't happened to me yet at 42 years old. But I think for most people, the end of it comes sooner. And I just keep enjoying it as long as it keeps happening.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to be a coach. But,
Well, I think that at some point, Travis will probably be one of the best coaches that we have in the U.S., definitely. I couldn't really say this about a whole lot of lifters that I've coached, but I've definitely learned stuff from Travis. He has a very logical way of looking at things and can explain some things in a unique and very effective manner. So I think Travis will be a great coach. And I hope, obviously it's not guaranteed, but I certainly hope that a guy like Travis can figure out how to stay a coach and make some sort of a living as a coach and remain involved in weightlifting after his competitive years are over. I think that would be great for the sport. Great for the sport in the USA anyway.
Well, that's definitely my plan. But yeah, so we got to go down and train now, and Glenn's got to help us coach.
Yeah, he's
got to coach us.
It's starting out social hour time for Tom.
So, anyways,
I had to throw that in there in case Tom listens to this because I just feel like I need to.
Well, I just wrote a new blog. It's called The Pendulum Effect.
That has nothing to do with social hour.
Well, this is what they're talking about. I'm just kidding. But I wrote a new blog. It's called The Pendulum Effect.
It's a good blog, too. I read it last night.
DozeOfStrength.com. It explains why you should have your shoulders directly on top of the bar in the start of the snatch or the clean. And tweet us at WLiftingScoop. And anything else?
Yeah, go buy a new Pendlay bar. They're awesome.
All right. Thanks, guys.